Welcome to a very exciting, very exclusive Nerdbox Terrifier 2 Easter egg video, and we have tons of them for you. If you don't know, not only is it the 31 days of Halloween here on Nerdbox, but it is also Terrifier month, because Terrifier 2 came out, and Terrifier 2 has been kicking ass in the box office, and we have tons and tons and tons of exclusive things for you. When you're done watching this, you're going to want to go and check out those other Terrifier videos that we have for you. And
if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this.
Yes, this is your official spoiler alert.
Yeah, this is the only warning you're getting.
So as always, just to cover things for our videos, we are looking at things that you may have missed in the film. So this could be Easter eggs. This could be references to pop culture. I am a believer that a person's creativity expands over time through their experiences. And sometimes, unintentionally, you may see some of those things bleed through to what they're creating. That definitely happened in this movie, because there is definitely a strong, heavy Nightmare on Elm Street influence in this movie, as well as some references and Easter eggs that we can't confirm, but we'll leave it up to you to do that.
The opening of Terrifier 2 picks up directly after the last film, in the morgue. Art eventually emerges from the morgue and walks down an alley where the camera focuses on some graffiti on the wall. We could not make out what it said, but if you did and know what it means, let us know. During that first scene inside of the morgue, we once again hear the Halloween-like piano theme playing. Shortly after Art walks off into the night, we meet Sienna, who is hard at work constructing her Halloween costume. There are a few things here that pop up. There is a sticker for a one-eyed doll on a sewing machine. One-Eyed Doll is a punk rock band with albums such as Monster, Witches, and Something Wicked. Sienna is wearing a shirt featuring 3 monarch butterflies. There are also butterfly drawings or pictures within her collage on the wall. The butterfly is symbolic for strength, endurance, spirituality, trust, sustaining what they believe, transformation, and evolution. All the traits that we see Sienna exemplify during her transformation into the warrior that her father drew for her. Sienna has a collage of drawings and magazine clippings on her wall. The collage surrounds a poster with the words Queen Phoenix on it. The person in the poster is writer-director Damien Leone, transformed into a girl. This is an inside joke that exists within the crew, and the image was created by cinematographer George Stuber. As we all may know, the phoenix symbolizes resurrection, life after death, and is rooted in many cultures. Another foreshadowing of Sienna's journey. This next one we recently confirmed on an additional viewing. As the camera pans in on the wings that Sienna has made for her costume, we see the abdomen of the mannequin bust appears to be spray painted with red and green stripes, just like the door frame from Terrifier 1, and a nod to Freddy.
Yeah, that was the one that you spotted out right away.
I did, because I love my Freddy.
The next 3 we will count as one reference. During a dinner discussion centered around Jonathan's choice in costume for Halloween, Sienna states that
you don't see people dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Manson.
I think you're both overreacting.
Then later on in the film, we hear her mom and Sienna discussing Jonathan's supposed behavior recently in school, and Barbara mentions,
yesterday he was the Zodiac killer. What's changed?
2 are serial killers and 1 a cult leader, synonymous in our pop culture. The conversation eventually shifts to Jonathan's room, and there are several Easter eggs here. The first we will count as 1. On the wall to the left of Jonathan's door, we see 6 vinyl albums hanging. We have Slayer's Hell's Await. We have King Diamond's The Eye. We have Merciful Fate's Time. And we also have Don't Break the Oath. And then we have Death is Just the Beginning, which is a compilation album. There is one more album on there that we cannot make out.
So if you know, tell us.
Also hanging on Jonathan's door is Art the Clown's costume. Throughout the room, there are also several band posters. Again, we are counting these as one. So the bands that we see on there is Animus, Marilyn Manson, Overkill, Testament, King Diamond, Carnifex, Children of Bodom, and then we see a poster for the record label Metal Blade Records. There's one poster on there that we cannot make out. So again, you know what it is? Drop it in the comments. Now the Metal Blade logo shows up in this film twice. The first time is in the opening scene where you see the teenagers running across the alley before Art walks out, and you see the one boy with the can of shaving cream spraying it on a girl. If you did not know, Elliot Fulham plays Jonathan. Elliot has a YouTube channel called Little Punk People, where he interviews people in the music industry, particularly metal, and he's done this for the last several years. These posters that we're seeing on his wall are from his house, along with the albums. He actually brought some stuff to decorate his room with. Now, Elliot has recently released his first album this past September, and it is called What's Wrong. So it is available, go buy it. All of the cool artwork that is hanging on the walls, which kind of reminds me a little bit of the Addams Family a little bit, some of the characters that we're drawing on there, including the one that looks like Sam from Trick or Treat, which is not. Those were drawn by his mom. On Jonathan's dresser is a foam head with a little black cat to the left and some clown makeup on it. It's essentially a foam head of Art Clown.
Later that night, we see Sienna beginning to doze off to 1959's House on Haunted Hill, starring Vincent Price. She then changes the channel to a cartoon where we see a nun killing a bunch of monsters. We do not know what this is from, so if you do, let us know in the comments.
I looked hard for that one. I can't figure that one out.
When she does fall asleep, we are transported in her dream to the Clown Cafe. The first floor we are going to cover, we have not been able to confirm as of yet, so we will only call it out and not count it in our numbers.
This is what we were talking about earlier when it comes to your experiences over a lifetime, possibly bleeding into the film without you even knowing. The TV host for the Clown Cafe looks a lot like Lunette the Clown from Big Comfy Couch.
Behind her is a mural of Art dancing with kids in a circle. The first thing that comes to mind is the morbid murals that are painted on the walls at the Denver airport. The clue to this is that the line of people leading up to the cafe all have luggage, and at the end of the line is a pilot and a stewardess.
When Sienna wakes up in the dream, she appears to be dressed up like Pippi Longstockings. For those who do not know, Pippi Longstockings was a little girl that was inhumanly strong. She can actually lift her pet horse over her head with one hand. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I watched Pippi Longstocking. I don't remember any of that. I'm probably going to have to revisit it.
I think this was mainly in the books.
Probably, because it definitely wasn't in the movie that I saw.
Pippi Longstockings was regarded in literature as a strong female character who fights for things that are morally right and against bullies. And it was way ahead of its time when it was first written and released.
The last one is the present that Art gives to Sienna. A box with a heart in it. This is something we saw in 1981's My Bloody Valentine. The heart-filled box came with a warning, however.
From the heart comes a warning filled with bloody good cheer.
So what do you all think? Are these 4 Easter eggs? As we see throughout this film, there are a lot of warnings of something bad coming. Heck, Jonathan even says it.
Yeah, that's the one thing with this movie. A lot of warnings that we've kind of seen in other horror films, just saying, hey, something bad's about to happen. You kind of see that play out through the early part of this film. Now on to the confirmed Easter eggs. In the corner of the cafe, we see a lamp. This is the same lamp that is in Sienna's room, which is a clever prop placement to signify that her reality has blended into this dream sequence. The set next to the Clown Cafe is filming a commercial for Art Krispies, with a voiceover that might sound very familiar and make a lot of people very happy.
New Art Krispies from Sugar Plum. Fun little surprises in every bite.
It is the Joker from the Batman animated series, voiced by Mark Hamill. This cereal features marshmallows of some of Art's favorite toys. Razor blades, hacksaws, his horn.
Oh my!
And the coolest one is there's a marshmallow of Dawn split in half.
I didn't see any of those.
Maybe you should have ADHD and all your little things are going.
Well, I can't just give myself ADHD. That's not how that works. So, for me, I just watch the movie and that's what I stay focused on. And this one over here is half watching the movie and half seeing all the little details because his brain and his eyes can't work together.
It's good to have ADHD. Sometimes it's a superpower. We then see Art ride out on a red antique tricycle. And of course, this is for Billy from Saw.
Congratulations. You are still alive.
Our next Easter egg is of Art pulling out a Tommy gun and filling everyone with lead, followed by him using a torch to set the Clown Cafe host on fire, as well as the set. This same omen of things to come happened in David's dream in American Werewolf in London, where we see David's family attacked in their home by 4 Nazi werewolf soldiers with machine guns, and then followed by them torching the house. That one I did pick up on.
Yes, that's one of your favorite scenes.
It is.
I would have been ashamed.
No,
if you did
I
not pick up on
definitely
that
picked. I was like, this is like American Werewolf in London.
Mm-hmm.
Got that one. Sienna tries to escape, but Art slowly stalks her into the other set where he attempts to light her on fire too. But she blocks it with her sword and deflects into her reality, setting the angel wings on fire. This is something we have seen in Nightmare on Elm Street films, where some of our protagonists have been able to pull things out of their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Damien Leone is a huge Freddy fan.
Yes. I like this movie. Kind of felt like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 a little bit.
The next day, Sienna and Allie head to a costume shop where they both run into Art. The costume shop, Abracadabra, is real and is in New York. In fact, on one of their display cases is a message from Art. Art was here, is proudly finger painted above an Art the Clown poster. After Allie runs into Art while talking on her phone, she walks off camera and tells her mother that she ran into a terrifying clown.
I'm sorry. Nice. Nothing. I just wanted to wear my terrifying clown costume.
This is an obvious reference to the film. When Art goes to lock up the shop, we see the Zoltar fortune-telling machine from the movie Big. I saw that too. During Ricky's death scene, we see him fall to the floor in front of a tombstone marked R.I.P.
After Art resolves his bill at the store, we see a mother and son try to enter the store. The mother is Tammy Glynn from Halloween 5, who played Samantha Baker. We return to Sienna and Jonathan's home, where the fallout from the possum incident at school is unfolding. In the hall, just outside of Jonathan's room, is a painting. And in the lower right-hand corner of that painting are 2 sunflowers side by side, just like the sunglasses that we see Art sport at the costume shop. This may be one of those happy coincidences where there's a painting that they chose and inadvertently there's the 2 sunflowers in the corner that look like the sunglasses. Jonathan tries to warn Sienna of her possible connection to Art and begins to flip through his father's sketchbook, where we see several Easter eggs in it, and we're going to count these individually. First one is the head of the pizza shop worker. Then we see a dead Mike the Exterminator. Then we see Dawn hanging upside down. And the last drawing of Sienna holding the head of a horned demon is not just a hint at the end of the film, but it is the head of a 9th circle demon who has sex with one of the kidnapped girls.
Meanwhile, over at Allie's house, Allie is tending to trick-or-treaters. The first is a young girl dressed as a scarecrow. As mentioned in our Terrifier 1 Easter egg video, this was Dawn's costume, which is linked back to the Scarecrow Girl in part 1. So we now have it showing up in all 3 films. The The costume was also linked to the Wizard of Oz due to a line that Tara stated to Dawn. Sitting on a chair in Allie's bedroom is a witch's hat. Normal, right? It's Halloween. Well, we're not convinced, because earlier in the film, when we first met Allie, she was wearing a crooked green nose and said, "Happy Halloween, my pretty." The Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz uses the "my pretty" in one of the most famous lines in cinema history.
Just try. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
As we return back to Sienna's room, we see a bedazzled butterfly book. More symbolism for Sienna. But like we said, we count this as one. As Sienna lays down to contemplate her plans for the evening, we see two pictures of a young girl during Halloween mixed in with her collage. These are pictures of Lauren Lavera, Sienna, as a child. After Sienna decides to continue with her plans for the evening, we get a classic 80s gear-up scene where Sienna straps up for the night, much like Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1985's Commando. Before Sienna leaves for the club, she stops to show off her costume to her mother, who is watching Night of the Living Dead.
As you know, her mother's name is Barbara, likely inspired from the film. This continues to build on the warnings from other films we see in this one, because we hear the line,
"They're coming to get you, Barbara."
And this is just before Art and the little pale girl do. Sienna arrives at the club, and as expected, we get some Easter eggs in the form of costumes here. The first being Brooke's boyfriend, dressed up as Ghost Michael Myers. Next, we see the weeping nun with the black tears from American Horror Story. Then, as Brooke and Sienna are at the bar, we get to see the smiley face demon from the Night Circle, or All Hallows Eve, whichever one that you've seen, standing behind them. And just to the right of him, a little out of shot, is the second demon in the club, who Craig Sabinoff played one of the demons, and he helped me identify the second one that was in this movie.
One of the partygoers who takes a selfie with Sienna is dressed up like Randall from Clerks 2 and is sporting his Movies uniform. Yay. Now we return to Sienna and Jonathan's home, where Jonathan has run out of the house and Barbara discovers her car has been TP'd, covered in shaving cream, and a busted pumpkin. On the wall in the garage is a hacksaw, a nod to Dawn's death in part 1. Outside, Jonathan comes across Art the Clown's kill van, and inside we see the little pale girl sitting and staring back at him. On the radio, we hear two things. Chucky from Child's Play laughed. And Allie screaming for help as she is being killed. Jonathan runs home, and after the reveal of his mother's death, he is captured and brought back to the carnival to set a trap for Sienna, who the little pale girl calls, imitating his voice to lure her there.
Yeah, during this scene, we will reveal, after the list is over, our favorite Easter egg. That won't be an Easter egg to anybody else, just us. When Jonathan wakes up, we see the little pale girl sitting at a vanity Hollywood mirror, just like Monica was in the previous film. When the little pale girl turns her head to look at him, her face is carved up like a jack-o'-lantern. Not like the pizza shop owner in Terrifier 1, but the driver slumped over in the car in All Hallows Eve. Sienna soon receives a fake text message from Jonathan telling her that he is trapped inside the Terrifier haunted house. When she arrives at the house, we see the monkey from the Monkey Shines painted on the front of it. We also see Skarsgård, Pennywise, painted on it as well, with his mouth wide open, which is the entrance inside of Terrifier. After Sienna runs inside, we see her run past a clown wall plate and then get a quick close-up of it. That clown wall plate has sharp teeth and is the Tim Curry Pennywise.
As they leave the haunted house, they end up in a church setting, and we see several cloaked figures, including Art. These cloaked figures represent the cult in the Ninth Circle. In this scene, there are two tombstones hanging on the wall. One says Orlok. This is Count Orlok, the vampire in Nosferatu. The other says Lenore, which is a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. We call this out because the original inspiration for the Little Pale Girl stemmed from the movie Spirits of the Dead, which is based on a collection of stories by Edgar Allan Poe.
Later on, after one of the Sienna versus Art battles, we see Jonathan shoot Art with his own gun.
The ghost of Barbara then appears to Sienna, telling her everything will be alright and hinting at her own demise. Just like we saw in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, when Nancy's father appeared to her after they thought they defeated Freddy.
Daddy?
Crossed over, princess.
In both cases, it was a setup. Only in Terrifier 2, Sienna lived. After Sienna and Jonathan conquer Art, we roll credits and get a mid-credits scene.
We see Chris Jericho working as a security guard for the Miles County Sanatorium. He's watching Plan 9 from outer space. And then, our final Easter egg is a tattoo on Victoria's wrist. It is an hourglass rune, which is known as Degas. While the rune is associated with positive energy, it is also associated with awakening. Now this one, we can count it, we don't have to count it, but I looked at a lot of pictures of the actress, Samantha, and none of those pictures have that tattoo on it. So either she recently got it right before that filming of that scene, and we haven't seen her show up in new pictures, or
she covers it. Maybe she gets it covered for professional photos. Sometimes they do that.
Could be. Or it is a clever use of a rune saying, hey, look, we got an awakening, which we did in that scene, and which we did with Sienna's character for part 3.
And this is a scene that we've seen a lot of people miss. Because as soon as the credits hit, they're out of there. And I don't know if it's because they need to puke or what the case may be, but they leave. And very few people have actually seen the post-credit scene.
Now, on to the Easter eggs. That's not going to mean a thing to anybody else, but it does to us. And now they may end up in our personal collection. When you hear the mom say,
And put your goddamn bowl in the sink.
This is the bowl. Woo! It's an Easter egg for us because we have the same bowl set.
Yes.
And
would you like some mashed potatoes with this?
Yes, with gravy or a side of brains.
This is the plate from the mashed potato scene.
I'm almost tempted when these people show up at Monster Mania to maybe even have the plate signed.
Oh my god.
And get some fake mashed potatoes, put it there and say, yep, awesome. And then it's one of a kind. So, what Easter eggs did we miss? What references did we miss? Did you see stuff that we didn't see? Do you know the answers to the things that we don't know? And of course, what do you think about that Clown Cafe scene? I think those are really Easter eggs.
I think so too, but I can't get that song out of my head. So.
It's an awesome song.
I literally know the words to it now.
Don't forget, it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers, and you can help us get there by checking to see that you are subscribed. And if you are not, then you definitely want to hit that button. Also, for every video that we get a like and some comments to that, then it helps expand the audience who gets to see our videos. And then if you're here and you're a Terrifier 2 fan, like we said at the beginning, there is tons and tons of content that we have on this channel that nobody else is going to have. And then just tune back in, because we're going to have a special 5 things where we talk about the 5 things that we want to see in Terrifier 3 with Killjoy Jake, another fan of the franchise who loves it and has been touting some really good things about it online. And then we'll have a producer from the film, Marcus McGill, on with us. So, until tomorrow, when it comes to our 31 days of Halloween, or until the next Easter egg video, or whatever you tune into next, see ya.